Today is a big day for this group of 11 people. They are taking the first step towards making a fresh start with their lives. They are all from different backgrounds. They have different stories to tell. What they have in common is their difficulties with reading and writing.
That's me mate's gaff.
Where do you stay now?
And see the house. It wasn't that bad, it was just me and my dad didn't get on. So, it's sorry to say, I ended up being homeless over it. That's my old school there.
This is a common problem, which affects 1 in 4 adults in Ireland. For them, reading the paper, a train timetable, or a bedtime story is a big challenge. Now they have a second chance. They're about to embark on an 8-week program to enrich their lives. It's a fantastic opportunity for personal development. The onus will be on each individual to do the work.
Well, we'll say if my life was to live over again, I'd have done it totally different. I would have, yeah. I have a lot of regrets. Really, education is very, very important. You know, people that has it take it for granted. They don't realise how important it is. And to be half educated sometimes is worse than having no education, because you're hungry for it, because you know it's out there.
It may not always be an easy journey. It demands commitment. Whether all of them can see it through remains to be seen.
Hi everyone, my name is Bobby. On behalf of Kathleen and myself, I'd like to welcome you here to Capure Estate, your home for the next 8 weekends. This promises to be an exciting journey for each one of us, me and Kathleen included. There will be times ahead where it will be difficult, but both Kathleen and I are here to facilitate you and help you in all your learning. I know that for a lot of you, it's going to be a journey, so we are here to support and help you in all that you need.
I know some of you might be feeling a little bit nervous, and this is a great step that you've all taken. And myself and Bobby are looking forward to working with you over the next 8 weeks and getting to know all of you. So where did you all get on? OK, first house is Jane, Norma and Olive.
What awaits them is 8 weekends of hard work and personal challenges designed to improve their reading and writing skills and build their self-esteem. 2 experienced tutors will be there to guide them throughout.
OK, the second house, Paul, Keith and Vincent.
See you later.
Come on, let me see you in the morning.
Third house is Rose, Stacey and Carolyn.
This will be an intense experience. Here in Capure Estate, the participants will live and work together.
And fourth house, Andrew and Nolan.
Possibly for the first time ever, they will feel that they are not different.
I was a street trader all my life, and lucky enough I was good at what I done to be able to earn a shilling. But the kids today can't do that, you know. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. I know all this technology and everything else, but where's the brains? You need to use your own brain. I think there's too many leaving school and they can't read and write, and they can't get anywhere in their life, and they're not going to get anywhere in their life if you don't know how to read and write. Lovely place, isn't it? Like the whole scenery and all. It's gorgeous. I'd love to live down there. Very big. I'll be crying when I have to go home. Yeah, well, my niece, we say, now, she's a very good kid, right? She really is a very good kid, right? Unfortunately, she's a little bit slow in the reading and writing department, right? 1950s, it was a no-no, but not 2007. And I mean, when she started school, that should have been picked up on.
I don't speak in out loud in class. I don't read out loud in class because I'm quite shy. I'm put on the spot to read something out loud, and then I'm thinking about what others are thinking of me. So that's where I get embarrassed. I don't want to be different. I want to be able to spell and not being embarrassed, and not having people laughing at me while if I have a spelling mistake or whatever. I feel happy that I'm doing it with a family member, and she can help me as well, and I can help her, and we're both in this together, doing something that we both want to do.
We have no milk or sugar.
Lads, look. Oh, boy, bad.
Go away and get your own sugar and milk.
Go away, all that. You're not getting.
I'll be looking for a smoke later on.
Mine's up in the room.
When I first started working out my ma's, I was 14. I was sleeping out in the streets for nearly 4 years straight, until Father and Craig took me in. 17 when no one else would. I hated my childhood. That's why I'm mainly out here. I wouldn't stand up myself because I hate fighting. I wouldn't stand up myself so I'd get picked on. I hated school I did. But then when I hit first year I started picking up myself, and then that's when I started getting into proper fights. Like, and my just thought it was normal. I hate fighting. I'd rather get on with people than fight. And that's why I mainly went on to hash and coke and all the other drugs. That's why I went on to them, just to kill it. But now I'm just trying to get myself out the coke, the drink. Every day is different in its own little way, like, because it's so hectic in town. Like, you can never get a moment yourself because it's always just your head is wrecked. I got to a point that I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, I was drenched, knocking around my girlfriends and just saying, well, yeah, give us clothes, I need to get changed and rattling with the cold. Then that's when I turned around and said, I have to get into hospital. I was 18 at the time, like, but I said I have to get into it. Like, I can read, right? It's just, as soon as it gets the big words, that's it. I just give up because I can't sound it out to get actually the word. I can't write, and I can't spell, so I hate writing. So, like, when someone sends me a text saying, what's the story, I had to ring them back and say, all right, what's the story? Say, why didn't you just text me back? And you do have to go into the big story, I can't read or write, so then they're thinking, like, why it can't be reading, like, why didn't he learn in school? Because I was bullied in school. Hopefully, like, that I'd be able to change my life, like, change it around in the next month, 2 months, have my own flat and be able to get a job now that I'll be able to read and write. So I won't be asking people, like, to do it anymore, because I know how to do it myself. I want to prove to people that I can do it. I want to get out of this life. So I can't wait. It's a bit nervous, but okay.
You take sugar, Vince?
Swear to God, never seen a gaff like in my life. Wish it was my gaff for the rest of my life.
They seem like a really nice group, and I suppose we've got people from all different backgrounds. There's different characters there, and I suppose over the coming weeks we'll see that for some of them, their experience, they're thinking back to school. The school wasn't so good.
Did you go to the Christian Brothers school?
No, I'm the only one out of the family that didn't go to that school.
If you think about how many times we read and write on a daily basis, particularly reading road signs, text messages, credit for your phone, instructions on an ATM machine. People with literacy difficulties are faced with this on a daily basis. When you look at what age somebody leaves school, it doesn't always indicate what level their literacy is going to be at because, okay, 15 years of age, some people might have done their junior cert, but if somebody goes through the whole primary school, secondary, and you think, how did they leave school with literacy difficulties? But the reality is 1 in 10 people are still leaving schools with literacy difficulties.
At the end of it all, like, I hope now I'll be able to go back to college. The ones I have talked to is man, I get along with them, so Rose, she's bang on. She's just a mother type. Like, she was talking to me as a man, like, and that's why I clicked with her.
So you wouldn't have a roof over your head only for you're actually down here?
Yeah.
So you don't have any home?
No.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. So where are you going to go from here?
I'm going to go back to my hostel at Aberdeen, and like, that was the biggest worry, like, actually telling people that I was homeless and the reaction, but it was totally different when I came down. Like, it was just, I was saying I'm going down to a lot of old people, I'm going down, I'm not going to have a laugh, but I'm actually surprised myself and saying, oh yeah, this is deadly, like.
The street is gone now. Thomas Street is not the same as what when I was out. I'm really getting on it with them all, but Keith kind of is the one that I was sitting with. He was telling me about him bringing his leaving cert home. He got 4 A's and 4 F's, and his mother asked him what was the F's for, and he said fantastic. What was the E's for? Excellence. And of course I thought that was so funny, and God help the woman, she really didn't know. He is so funny. I think he could write a script, really. He's a comedian in himself. And young Paul, down here is going to do an awful lot for Paul. I think it's going to do a lot for us all, but mostly the young, because they're going to see where they can go from here. And there is somebody out there that is taking them on board. We're all in the same boat at the end of the day, and we know what we're here for, to learn. So that's the great thing about it.
It's Saturday morning and the group gather in the belfry for the first time. For many of them, the classroom environment holds many difficult memories, and these barriers need to be broken down.
Oh, very good. Brilliant. Okay.
Well, guys, I hope you're settled into your rooms okay, and you've seen around the Capure estate. Just to say, this is going to be our classroom now for the next 8 weekends. Okay, so what we want to do straight off, or what Kathleen and I are going to do straight off now, is to look at the contract now. Well, the theme of the weekend is learning styles and different types of learning and how people learn. It's important for a group like this that comes together for a class to drop a contract, just so that the guys are committed to one another and that they set the agenda for what is to take place in the classroom. We're also going to be looking at goal setting. They're all here for a learning purpose, and each of them have come with maybe a couple of goals, but in relation to their learning, what goal do they want to take place over these 8 weeks, or what goals? You just go around each table, just mention your goal and the help that you're going to need.
I want to learn to improve in my spelling.
Yeah, okay.
And so that would need help.
Right, okay, so help from the group here and stuff like that, yeah. Vincent?
When I'm very slow.
Okay, okay.
I can't finish a page quick enough.
Right, okay, okay.
I'm just a desperate speller.
Okay, okay.
So hopefully just listen and trying to learn after 8 weeks.
Absolutely.
And further it.
Fantastic. Jane?
Just to be independent and do things for myself, and I suppose strength and courage is my goal.
Okay, strength and courage in order to be more independent.
I went to the Presentation Convent in Carsevine, and the nuns are very fond of their tomato patches and their gardens, or maybe polishing their floors. And any time that class would be on, we'd be always taking out for something or other. You know, maybe the tomatoes, or maybe brushing up the leaves, or whatever, anyway. Now, they didn't intentionally do it, I suppose, but we'd always volunteer, wouldn't we? Like, it was up to yourself if you wanted to learn, you know? Which I think when you're going to school, you have to be pushed. I can read books, and sometimes you come up with words that you don't understand and that you want to get the meaning of, you know, stuff like that. And I'm ashamed of my writing, really. Even filling in forms or anything, I avoid every possible thing. I avoid doing it. I just don't want to do it. It's like being in prison and you can't get out. You know, you're kind of, you're locked. You know you have something locked in there, but you can't get it out. I actually would like to write a book, would you believe that, of my own life and how I lived it. So that's why I really took the course.
Jane has lived with anxiety and panic attacks for years. Her condition has often held her back. Because she relies so much on others, she doubts if she can overcome her fears and make it out of Killarney on her own.
Never left Killarney on my own. Never left anywhere on my own. It's always my husband, actually, that's with me. Parts of the forest I'm quite comfortable because I can see an exit and I know I can go there. But it's when I can't see a way out, I get very closed up, and I suppose panic is the word for it, really. You know, that you're just going, oh God, I got to get out of here, like, you know. But you actually don't do any of that. You just stand there and look around you, and the fear is within you, you know. I know it's going to be a struggle, so I'm going to try, and I'm going to put my best into it. My family want me to do it because they said it would give me confidence and it would be good for me. I don't know how I'm going to get on, like, but I'm going to try.
Back at Capure, the fears and expectations of some of the students are aired openly.
Okay, so does anyone want to share then their fears and expectations?
Well, I was expecting to have 11 computers for the 11 pupils that was coming, and then I get told that there's no reception.
When we get onto the computers, I'm sure everybody will, if not have one computer each, have one working between 2 people. Now, we haven't gone on to computers yet, so this is...
And I can understand that, but I've asked about them.
Yeah.
And I've been told that there won't be, but I was told before we came down that there would be.
Would we be not better off learning how to write first?
But as I said, it's up to everybody themselves. but I'm only giving my opinion.
I know what you're saying.
And these are my expectations. So I've been asked, and I'm telling how I feel.
With time ticking by, the tutors decide to push on and introduce ceramic artist Michelle Marr.
So I'm going to show you something now. It's a very familiar object. I'm going to show it to you first, and then we're going to blindfold you. So it's a sphere, okay? All have a good look at it. Right, now blindfold's on. Now, just
It's important for each individual to identify what kind of learner they are. Do they depend more on their eyes, ears, or hands? Through observing the group's pottery making, Bobby and Kathleen can observe each person in action. This task is designed to broaden the participants' minds about learning and explore talents they didn't even know they had.
an ice cream cone.
Some of the participants were quite eager to get into when are we going to be doing the reading, when are we going to be doing the spelling and the writing. But it's important before that for people to find out what their learning styles are, techniques of how to remember words, how to spell words. This 8 weeks is not just about that the learners will be able to read and write perfectly after the 8 weeks. It's giving them the skills and the techniques that can go away themselves.
Seen the other side of you that you didn't think you had?
The group seemed to be gelling quite well and also helping one another, and there's a lot of teamwork there. Stacey and Paul, I suppose because they're the younger members of the group, but they're both very, very bright young people, and I think we'll see great improvements.
Is any part difficult at all? No?
I enjoyed it.
Very good.
Enjoyed it all.
Okay, it's lovely.
I'm mostly enjoying looking at his piece because I think it's gorgeous.
I was born in New Street, right? It's near St. Patrick's Cathedral, right? And I went to school in Weaver Square. I left there at 6.5 and I went to convalescent home. I never got any school, and that was my problem.
Give us a bag and I'll be able to pick out where I want, please.
I was there for 2 years and 9 months, but I tell you what, it seemed like a lifetime. It was like a prison sentence. And I was so much in fear, sure, none of us could learn, because we were all in fear. Because I was the nearest to the nun when she'd come down to try and teach us, all she'd done was bet the children.
Will you have your own customers, yeah?
You see, I can read, and I'm not bad at reading either. But I would put my life on it. If I had been taught, I would have been able to write as well. Because if I could learn myself to read, I most certainly would be enabled, if I'd got the education, to be able to write. No matter what anybody tells me, people do look down on you. People do look down on you. And when I have to write my address, I take out my pension book for to see Rat Farm on it, so that I can actually write down Rat Farm. That's what I have to do. I used to mind Stacey a lot. You see, when I gave up the street, then Paula started selling herself. She went out. Stacey's a lovely kid, and it'd be a terrible thing for her not to be able to get the education that she needs to get on in life. It won't be able to be done by hand, because you'll take the whole cut off the dress, destroy the dress. When I was 17, I'd have loved that chance. No problem. And I just want Stacey to have that chance. Do you know?
In South Kerry, on the morning Jane is due to leave for Wicklow, she prepares to say goodbye to her family and head to Capure. She never ventures far from her home alone and likes to stay within her comfort zone of Killarney. Now she's been given the opportunity that could potentially change her life.
You know, this morning now I woke up and I just not bother and go back to sleep and say, that's it, you needn't go, you don't have to, you know, that type of... I'm playing around with this kind of a verb all the time, and I'm saying to myself, well, do that. You know, they're down here now, and, you know, all this kind of thing running through the mind, like so.
We've never been away from each other. The experience would be good for her, all right. But of course, myself and Jordan will miss her.
My husband keeps saying to me, it's only a couple of hours away, like, you know, a phone call away, as he says, like. But you're talking about spending nights there. I know there will be people with me, but I mean, I'm trying to stay away from my family now and away from my home, you know. It's very difficult, really. If I achieve this, it will be something great for me. I have my St. Teresa statue for one thing in my bag, which I carry everywhere with me. I need another thing, but I forgot to bring it. It's a kind of rescue relief. It's a little bottle you get in the health shops, like, but I totally forgot about it. I haven't got it now, and I feel panic that I know I haven't got that. It's causing panic within me, like, that I haven't got it, you know?
What the students need most is self-confidence. One way of building this is to introduce the group over dinner to others who have overcome similar challenges. This evening, they are joined by Mount Everest and Antarctic explorer Pat Falvey.
So I became a multimillionaire at 21, and by the time I was 29, I thought I had the Midas touch. You know, I thought, like, I was the man, like, you know. But I couldn't really read or write properly, so I went through an educational process to do so. Well, you know, the biggest reason why people don't actually try to fulfill their goal, like me actually going back in to get that course, right? Do you know what it is?
Too hard.
No, the fear of failure. The fear of people turning around and saying, you know what? You're stupid. And what it does, it lowers our self-confidence and self-esteem. And that's what happened to me when I was...
I'm after getting this book off Pat. On the front of it there, he signed it. To Carolyn, follow your dreams. And then he drew a little man or a woman on the top of the mountains. And at the end of it there, then it says, I'm on top of the world, and that's where I want to be when I finish this course. Please, God.
I couldn't achieve anything now because all my money was gone. And then I went hill walking reluctantly, and I climbed a small mountain. And sometimes it's about setting goals. And you know, I put my hand across to Val, the guy that asked me out, and I shook his hand and I said, you know, Val, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. You know, there's some very strong characters there, no matter which way you look at it. And I think that's always the way in something like this. Like, you know, some people will, you know, will have mighty, strong characters, and some people will have a disbelief in themselves, and other people will, you know, will pull them along, and then eventually they'll all achieve their goals, I believe, from the group that is here anyway. And I believe, like, everybody has an Everest, right? And it's whether it's the pregnant mother giving birth to the child, the patient conquering serious illness, or it could be any goals that any of us have.
It's a very, very good weekend, actually. I feel we've been really motivated today. The bit of pottery we were doing, and then we got into lessons. And I feel that these weekends are actually like a door being unlocked out into the world of education. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Sunday morning, the final day of the first weekend. And before the rest of the group have woken up, Jane makes her way to Mass.
I've done this weekend, and it means so much to me. I didn't have to get help from anyone. I didn't have to call anyone. I did it all by myself. And that means a great deal to me, so that's what I was thanking the Lord for this morning now. When I was asked Friday about the course and how I felt about it, I said, ask me again. Like I said, it was a bit of a struggle, but it was nothing I couldn't handle. So yes, I am looking forward to next week.
However, back at Capure, the mood is not so good. Someone in the camp is not happy at all.
Sorry, I'm late. It's not due to my own fault. Used to the heating, no heating all night. Freezing cold. But it's not good enough. You all went to bed and left us without heating. It's as simple as that. But Rose, you have to... Yeah. No, excuse me, Caroline. I'm speaking for myself now. If you want to talk for yourself, even though we're in the ground...
blame the crew.
Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't bring anybody down. They brought me down. I would not go to bed, no matter whether I was the crew or not, and see somebody in the cold. My teeth was locking, like banging together with the cold. I slept in my clothes all night.
But you know, you wouldn't notice it. They're lovely.
I was getting a taxi home at 4 o'clock this morning.
Are you serious?
I am very serious. That's the type of a person I am. I'm not coming down here again.
Rose, don't...
No.